There were 3 children in the family, but my mother only cooked 2 eggs and gave them to my brother and sister, and Annie had to eat nothing but plain rice when her mother didn't have a problem with it. She put those awful black beans in front of her and tried to get away with it. What she didn't realize was that Annie didn't want to eat eggs. In the face of her parents' favoritism, there was nothing Annie could do about it. She was the least loved child in the family. What made her even more upset was that every time her father left work, he would buy her brother a World Cup of ice cream. When she found out, he only bought her a regular ice cream. Seeing her reluctance, her father even gave her a lecture. At night, her neighbor gave her a fried chicken and told her to eat the leg and not to leave it for others. But Annie didn't do that. But when she brought the chicken home, her mother gave 1 leg to her sister and the other to her brother. Even the wings were taken from her father's mouth, or Annie would have had to eat the ass. But her kindness wasn't rewarded by her family's concern. On the contrary, her older sister, Kate, never liked her. Whenever she found out that Annie was touching her things, she would beat her up. But her parents were used to it and didn't even care. One day, her sister Kate caught Annie stealing her lipstick. She got angry and warned Annie, but when her sister threatened her, but Annie didn't take the threat seriously. Instead, she snuck into her sister's room when she wasn't home. After an exhilarating dance, she memorized the location of each item and then got down to business. First, she puts on a thick layer of foundation. Then she puts the lid back on the compact and puts it back where it belongs. Then she exaggerated her eyeshadow and lipstick and even trimmed her eyelashes with matches. After all the fuss, looking at herself in the mirror, Annie was very satisfied. And not long ago, she was chosen to be a medalist in the Olympics. This is one of the things she is most proud of. Although the daily training is very hard, but in order to be on TV, she still quietly insisted. But on the day of the interview, and was surprised to learn from a reporter, the country she represented would be absent due to political reasons. The news came as a shock to Annie, who had been preparing for this for so long. She was even more upset because it was her sister Kate's birthday. Every year, her parents moved Annie's birthday up to this day to save money. After her sister blew out the candles, her father would take out 3 candles and relight them so Annie could blow them out again. However, Annie's pent-up frustration finally erupted. Looking at her parents, who were so biased, Annie asked them why they always gave me black beans when I loved eggs too. Why did they only buy ice cream for her brother? Why did they give all the chicken legs to my sister and brother, but only give me chicken wings? And even why did they give me such an ugly name? After venting her anger, Annie ran out of the house. After she left, her parents found out from the TV that their daughter's country was missing from the tournament. At that moment, they understood Annie's frustration. At that moment, Annie was sitting alone in a corner, crying.